Welcome back. Lincoln currency. The story of the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln cent, is far more intriguing than most people would imagine. At first glance, a penny seems trivial, almost laughably insignificant, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that jingles in your pocket or disappears under the couch cushions. Yet, the 1978 cent is more than just a simple coin. It represents a period in American history, a piece of meticulous design, a reflection of economic changes, and for certain collectors, a potential treasure worth millions in the most extraordinary cases. To understand the coin fully, we must first look at its physical characteristics, its design, and the era that produced it. The 1978 penny weighs precisely 2.5 grams. Its composition is primarily 95% copper, with the remaining 5% composed of tin and zinc, a formula that had been in place since the early 20th century and continued until 1982, when the U.S. Mint began producing primarily zinc pennies with a copper coating due to rising copper prices. This composition gives the 1978 cent its distinctive reddish-brown color, which over decades can take on a deep, lustrous patina if preserved correctly. A well-maintained 1978 cent that has never circulated and retains its original mint luster is highly prized among collectors, and even pennies that have minor wear can carry significant historical and numismatic interest. The design of the 1978 cent carries deep symbolic meaning and connects to the very fabric of American history. On the obverse, or front side, we see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's visage has adorned the penny since 1909, a tribute commemorating the centennial of his birth. His image was carefully sculpted by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, appear subtly on the reverse of the coin in certain early issues, though by 1978, the placement of Brenner's initials was standardized and less controversial. Lincoln's profile is dignified and resolute, a representation of honesty, leadership, and the enduring values associated with his presidency. Around the rim, the words, "In God We Trust," are emblazoned prominently, a phrase that has adorned U.S. coinage since 1864 and reflects the nation's historical commitment to faith and moral guidance in governance. Below Lincoln, the year 1978 is stamped with precision, and to the right, a small mint mark, D or S, may be present, indicating the coin was struck at the Denver or San Francisco Mint respectively. The presence or absence of a mint mark can dramatically affect the coin's value in collector markets, as coins from certain mints had lower production numbers or unique characteristics that make them rarer and more desirable. Turning the coin over to the reverse side, one finds the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic symbol of national reverence and a tribute to the very president depicted on the obverse. This design was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the earlier, wheat ears, design. The Lincoln Memorial depiction is intricate, showing the steps, columns, and even a tiny representation of the seated statue of Lincoln within. Though these details are minuscule to the casual observer, collectors prize coins that preserve the sharpness and clarity of this reverse engraving. The phrase, "United States of America," arcs across the top, asserting national identity, while the words, "E pluribus unum," meaning, "out of many one," are etched just above the Lincoln Memorial itself, carrying centuries of Republican ideals and unity into the modern age. At the bottom, the denomination, 1 cent, is stamped, signifying the coin's role as the smallest unit of American currency, yet paradoxically, in some circumstances, one of the most fascinating and valuable coins for collectors. Continuing with the fascinating journey of the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, we delve deeper into the minting process, the variations, and the subtle details that can transform a seemingly ordinary penny into a collector's treasure. Every coin begins as a blank, a small, perfectly round disc called a planchet. For the 1978 cent, these planchets were composed of a copper core, coated in a thin layer of copper zinc alloy. The preparation of planchets was an art in itself. They had to be cut to exact dimensions, polished to remove imperfections, and weighed precisely to 2.5 grams to ensure consistency. Even the slightest deviation in thickness, weight, or surface smoothness could result in coins that were rejected or classified as errors, which, ironically, sometimes makes them more valuable to collectors. At the Denver and San Francisco mints, where the 1978 cents were struck, machinery operated with incredible precision, yet the mass production of millions of coins naturally introduced minor variations and anomalies that later became the source of fascination for numismatists. The striking process, in which the engraved dies imprinted Lincoln's profile and the Lincoln Memorial onto the coin, required tremendous force. A pair of steel dies would press the design onto the planchet with thousands of pounds of pressure, ensuring that every line, letter, and detail was transferred. The obverse die carried Lincoln's likeness, along with the year and mint mark, while the reverse die bore the Lincoln Memorial, inscriptions, and denomination. For the 1978 cent, the dies were meticulously crafted to preserve Brenner's original artistry while accommodating modern minting standards. Minor imperfections in the dies could create what are known as die varieties, where certain features are slightly doubled, missing, or misplaced. Among collectors, these die varieties are studied with almost scientific rigor, with enthusiasts comparing microscopic differences in lettering, date alignment, and relief. Some 1978 cents show subtle doubling on the date or mint mark, which, while virtually invisible to the naked eye, can make the coin significantly more valuable in certain grading tiers. Such details illustrate why even a coin struck in a common year like 1978 can attract intense interest and speculation. In addition to die varieties, the 1978 cent is known to have certain mint-specific traits. The Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark, produced the majority of 1978 cents, while the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, primarily issued proof coins intended for collectors rather than circulation. Proof coins were struck using polished planchets and specially prepared dies to produce mirror-like surfaces and sharply defined features. A 1978 S-proof Lincoln cent, especially one in perfect condition, is considerably more sought after than a circulated 1978 D cent, commanding higher prices in numismatic markets. The subtle reflections and frosted details on proof coins create a visual experience that ordinary circulated coins cannot replicate, making them a prized item for serious collectors. Even slight imperfections, such as tiny scratches or minor fingerprints during handling, can dramatically impact value, emphasizing the importance of careful storage and authentication. Errors and anomalies are another captivating aspect of the 1978 cent. Throughout coin production, human and mechanical factors sometimes intersected to produce unusual results. Coins might be struck off-center, with part of the design missing or misaligned. Others may display a double strike, where the coin was struck twice, leaving faint ghostly images alongside the primary design. There are also clipped planchets, where the metal blank was improperly cut, leaving a coin with a missing edge segment. While these errors were accidental, they are highly prized by collectors precisely because of their rarity. A 1978 cent with a significant error, authenticated and graded, could potentially reach thousands of dollars at auction, far exceeding its face value. These anomalies demonstrate that even a mass-produced coin carries the potential for uniqueness, illustrating the tension between uniformity in currency production and the unpredictable beauty of minting errors. The historical context of the 1978 cent adds another layer of fascination. America in the late 1970s was navigating economic pressures, including inflation and changes in metal prices. The copper used in coins had become increasingly expensive, a factor that would soon prompt the U.S. Mint to experiment with zinc-based planchets in the early 1980s. The 1978 cent thus represents one of the last decades of the classic copper Lincoln penny, connecting collectors to a bygone era of American currency. Holding a 1978 cent is a tactile experience of history. It is not just a coin but a witness to a particular moment in time, reflecting industrial practices, economic considerations, and artistic design choices that span generations. This historical significance, combined with the intrinsic artistry and the potential for rare variations, is what fuels collector enthusiasm and, in some extraordinary cases, the legends of coins being worth vast sums, sometimes cited as high as $100 million in popular myths. Market value for the 1978 cent varies dramatically based on several factors. Circulated coins, which may show wear, scratches, or tarnishing, typically remain close to face value. However, uncirculated coins, particularly those graded as MS-65 or higher, can command dozens or even hundreds of dollars depending on condition and rarity. Proof coins, especially those from the San Francisco Mint with flawless surfaces, are even more valuable. Coins that exhibit errors, unique toning, or other anomalies can achieve auction prices that far exceed ordinary expectations. Numismatic guides, grading services, and auction records provide benchmarks for value, but the market is dynamic, influenced by collector demand, historical trends, and the rarity of specific specimens. While the notion of a 1978 cent being worth $100 million is largely anecdotal and part of collector folklore, it underscores the fascination and imaginative potential that such coins inspire among enthusiasts. The idea that a humble penny could, in theory, become a multimillion-dollar artifact captures the imagination and drives the passionate pursuit of numismatic excellence. Collectors also place great emphasis on preservation techniques. A 1978 cent must be handled with extreme care to maintain its value. Oils from human skin, environmental factors, and improper storage can all degrade a coin over time. Most serious collectors store valuable coins in protective holders, often made of inert plastic, to prevent scratches, oxidation, and other forms of damage. Controlled environments, such as low humidity storage and limited exposure to air, help maintain the copper's natural luster. For proof coins, even minor handling can leave marks that reduce their grade significantly, underscoring the meticulous attention required in high-level numismatics. This level of care is not merely about aesthetics, but is directly tied to market value. A pristine coin, perfectly preserved over decades, can achieve valuations many times higher than an equivalent coin that has suffered wear or mishandling. In some cases, provenance, the documented history of a coin's ownership, can further enhance value, especially if the coin has passed through notable collections or been part of significant auctions. As we continue our exploration of the 1978 United States 1 cent coin, it becomes essential to examine how these coins perform in the collector market, particularly through auctions, private sales, and the fascinating stories of rare specimens. While the face value of a penny is only 1 cent, coins in exceptional condition or with unusual characteristics can achieve prices that seem almost unimaginable. In numismatic history, certain 1978 cents have surfaced in auctions, showcasing how condition, rarity, and provenance combine to produce extraordinary results. For example, a 1978 D cent in pristine uncirculated condition, graded MS-68 or MS-69 by a recognized grading service like PCGS or NGC, has occasionally reached several $100s in competitive auction settings. These sales illustrate the power of meticulous preservation and the importance of professional grading. Without proper authentication, even a visually flawless coin might struggle to command the highest possible prices because collectors rely on objective standards to assess value. Proof coins, particularly those from the San Francisco Mint, demonstrate an even more dramatic story. The 1978 S-proof cent was struck with extreme precision and polish, creating a mirror-like surface that reflects light in ways ordinary circulation coins cannot. When these proof coins appear in auctions in MS-70 or proof 70 condition, meaning virtually perfect, they can achieve significantly higher prices than uncirculated Denver or Philadelphia cents from the same year. Some auction records indicate that perfect 1978 S-proof pennies have sold for several $1,000s, especially when paired with historical documentation or when part of a complete Lincoln cent collection spanning multiple decades. The combination of rarity, craftsmanship, and historical context makes these coins an object of desire for high-end collectors, museums, and numismatic institutions. An interesting aspect of 1978 cents that fuels their allure is the myth of astronomical valuations. Stories abound in numismatic circles, often online or in collector magazines, claiming that a single 1978 cent, under perfect conditions, could be worth as much as $100 million. While there is no verified sale approaching this figure, the legend persists because it highlights the idea that extreme rarity combined with perfect preservation can generate tremendous market value. Much of the myth is tied to the concept of theoretical perfect coins, those that are flawless in every measurable way, including strike, luster, toning, and absence of microscopic imperfections. Some collectors indulge in the thought experiment of a coin that satisfies every conceivable criterion for perfection, imagining that the convergence of these factors could place it in a class of legendary status akin to world-famous rare coins, such as the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle or the 1804 silver dollar. In practice, however, most 1978 cents sell for more modest sums. Circulated coins with minor wear are rarely valued above a few cents beyond face value, but uncirculated coins, especially in high grades like MS-65 and above, begin to show significant premium. Grading services meticulously examine the coin's strike, luster, surface preservation, and color toning. Even a subtle mark on Lincoln's cheek, a slight scratch near the rim, or uneven toning can move a coin down several grading points, materially affecting its market price. Collectors learn to scrutinize coins under magnification, comparing them against reference images and certification standards to identify the finest examples. This attention to detail reflects a combination of artistry, historical appreciation, and investment strategy, making high-grade 1978 cents both collectibles and speculative assets in numismatic terms. Beyond standard grading, the world of numismatics is rife with stories of unusual finds. Some 1978 cents have surfaced in old coin rolls or piggy banks, discovered decades later to be nearly perfect uncirculated examples. Others show rare die errors, such as double dates or mint marks, off-center strikes, or small planchet defects. One particularly fascinating variant occasionally noted in collector discussions is the double die 1978 D cent, where certain letters or numbers on the obverse appear slightly double due to a misalignment during the die creation process. While extremely subtle and often requiring magnification to discern, these coins are prized because they combine historical interest with rarity, and their existence reminds collectors that even a coin produced in enormous quantities can occasionally produce unique, one-of-a-kind artifacts, collector practices around 1978 cents emphasized not only acquisition but also preservation. Coins must be handled carefully to avoid the oils from human skin causing discoloration or microscopic abrasions. Storage in protective holders, inert plastic capsules, or albums designed for coin preservation is standard among serious collectors. Proof coins and uncirculated specimens often require more meticulous care, including limited exposure to light and humidity-controlled environments, to maintain the copper's original reddish hue and prevent oxidation. Experienced collectors may even separate coins by mint, condition, and toning patterns, creating specialized collections that highlight subtle differences across thousands, or even millions of coins. This systematized approach allows for easier valuation, authentication, and potential future sales in auctions or private transactions. The 1978 cent also provides a lens into the broader history of Lincoln cents and American coinage. Since their introduction in 1909, Lincoln pennies have undergone various modifications, from the wheat-back design to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959, and eventually to the Lincoln Shield reverse in 2010. The 1978 cent falls squarely in the Lincoln Memorial era, representing a mid-20th century aesthetic and minting philosophy. Studying the 1978 coin alongside its predecessors and successors reveals changes in metallic composition, strike technology, and design detail. For example, the eventual shift from mostly copper cents to predominantly zinc cores in 1982 reflects broader economic pressures, yet the 1978 cent retains the classic copper aesthetic that many collectors and enthusiasts find most appealing. By preserving and examining coins from this era, collectors not only safeguard rare artifacts but also gain insight into historical manufacturing processes and economic circumstances that shaped American currency. Market psychology plays a key role in the perceived value of 1978 cents. Coins achieve higher prices not only because of their physical characteristics but also because of rarity perception, collector enthusiasm, and cultural narratives. The mythos surrounding $100 million valuations, while not grounded in verified sales, contributes to a sense of excitement and possibility. Collectors often frame acquisitions in terms of potential future appreciation, imagining that certain pristine specimens might one day become legendary, much like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1804 silver dollar. This aspirational mindset, combined with careful observation of grading, mint mark, and error characteristics, makes collecting 1978 cents both an intellectual challenge and a pursuit of beauty and rarity. The stories attached to 1978 cents are as much a part of their appeal as the physical coins themselves. Enthusiasts recount tales of discovering uncirculated coins tucked away in old jars or coin rolls, only to realize decades later that the coins are of exceptional quality or display rare minting anomalies. Some collectors have reported finding proof coins in sealed envelopes from the San Francisco Mint, preserved in nearly perfect condition. Such stories underscore the thrill of numismatic discovery, the sense that hidden treasures might lie in the most ordinary places, waiting for a careful eye to recognize their significance. As we delve deeper into the fascinating world of the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, it becomes essential to understand the nuances of coin grading, because grading determines much of a coin's market value and desirability. Coins are not just evaluated by their age or mint mark, but by their overall condition, which includes surface preservation, strike quality, luster, and color toning. The grading scale used by professional numismatists ranges from the lowest, good, or G4, to the pinnacle of perfection, mint state 70, or MS 70. A 1978 cent in circulated condition might fall anywhere between G4 and extremely fine 45, XF 45, showing some smoothing on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, or the details of the Lincoln Memorial. As the grade increases, minor wear disappears, edges sharpen, and luster returns. Coins graded MS 60 to MS 63 are uncirculated but may have small surface imperfections or weak strikes. Coins graded MS 65 to MS 69 are considered high grade, exhibiting sharp details, exceptional luster, and minimal imperfections. An MS 70 coin is considered perfect, free of any visible or microscopic flaws, a true rarity even for a coin produced in massive quantities like the 1978 cent. Spotting rare errors on the 1978 cent requires meticulous observation. The most common errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A doubled die occurs when the die itself imprints a secondary image slightly offset from the first, often visible on letters, numerals, or the mint mark. In 1978 cents, some collectors have noted subtle doubling on the date, or mint mark, making those coins especially valuable. Off-center strikes, where the coin is not perfectly aligned during the stamping process, create portions of the design that are partially missing or truncated. Clipped planchets result from a miscut blank, leaving a curved or missing segment along the coin's edge. Die cracks, though minor, can create raised lines on the surface and often indicate unique production circumstances. Collectors learn to use magnification tools, proper lighting, and reference images to identify these rare characteristics, which can dramatically elevate a coin's desirability and market value. Famous auctions provide insight into the valuation of high-grade or era 1978 cents. While the vast majority of these coins sell for modest sums, certain specimens have achieved notable attention. For example, a 1978 S-proof cent graded PR70 sold in a major U.S. auction for several $1,000s, demonstrating the premium collectors are willing to pay for perfection and rarity. Coins with certified double die errors or unusual toning patterns have also appeared in specialized numismatic auctions, fetching prices significantly higher than uncirculated examples without anomalies. These auction records serve not only as financial benchmarks but also as historical documents, preserving the provenance and market perception of each coin. Collectors often study auction catalogs to track trends, identify sought-after varieties, and understand how condition and minting anomalies influence final prices. Comparative analysis of the 1978 cent with other Lincoln cents further illuminates its significance. Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958, featuring the wheat-back design, carry their own historical weight, while the Lincoln Memorial reverse introduced in 1959, including the 1978 cent, marked a period of stability and aesthetic continuity. Later pennies, such as those issued with the shield reverse in 2010, reflect modern design philosophies and production technologies. Collectors often examine 1978 cents alongside adjacent years to identify subtle changes in strike quality, metal composition, or minting practices. By doing so, they gain insight into the broader narrative of U.S. coinage, appreciating how the 1978 cent fits into a long-standing tradition of craftsmanship, symbolism, and economic history. The persistent myth of a $100 million valuation for a 1978 cent is a phenomenon worth exploring. While no verified sale has approached this figure, the story circulates widely among collectors and online communities. The myth likely originated from the concept of a theoretically perfect coin, a 1978 cent in flawless MS-70 condition, with ideal luster, color, strike, and no trace of imperfections, possibly featuring a unique minting anomaly. Such a coin, if it existed, would be a numismatic holy grail, attracting attention from collectors worldwide. The $100 million figure, though largely symbolic, captures the imagination, illustrating the extreme potential value that numismatists often assign to rarity and perfection. The myth has been perpetuated through articles, collector forums, and even video content, reinforcing the mystique surrounding high-grade 1978 cents and sparking a fascination that transcends mere face value. Understanding the $100 million myth also involves appreciating human psychology in collecting. People are drawn to the idea of uncovering hidden treasures, to the notion that an ordinary object, like a penny, might harbor immense, almost fantastical value. This cognitive appeal is amplified when discussing coins from a historically significant era, such as the late 1970s, when the U.S. economy was undergoing transitions and copper remained a valuable commodity. The combination of rarity, continuing our journey into the fascinating world of the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, it becomes important to discuss strategies that collectors use to maximize the value, preservation, and historical significance of their coins. Serious numismatists understand that collecting is not merely about accumulation but about careful selection, authentication, and long-term stewardship. One of the most fundamental strategies is establishing a focus on condition and rarity. While a 1978 cent in circulated condition may have only modest value, coins that remain uncirculated or exhibit unique characteristics, such as proof strikes, minting errors, or exceptional toning, can offer extraordinary opportunities for both historical appreciation and financial reward. Collectors often invest in carefully curated sets, comparing specimens across multiple mint locations and evaluating subtle differences in strike quality, luster, and surface detail. Rare 1978 cents that have surfaced in private collections add another layer to the story. Many collectors recount discovering coins preserved for decades in family estates, old coin rolls, or even forgotten jars. In some instances, these coins were found to be uncirculated or in proof condition, preserved remarkably well against environmental factors. For example, a 1978 cent discovered in a sealed coin envelope, untouched for decades, may exhibit vibrant copper color, sharp details on Lincoln's profile, and a perfectly aligned Lincoln Memorial reverse. Such discoveries are often authenticated and graded, and they frequently make headlines in numismatic publications or auction records. The excitement of finding a rare coin in everyday circumstances is part of what drives collectors' passion, reminding enthusiasts that even a coin minted in enormous quantities can occasionally emerge as a unique treasure. Toning and color variations also play a crucial role in a coin's appeal and market value. The 1978 cent, composed primarily of copper, is especially susceptible to developing natural toning over time. Factors such as exposure to air, humidity, and storage materials influence the formation of patina, which can range from subtle reddish-brown hues to rich, deep chocolate or even rainbow-colored surfaces. Many collectors prize coins with attractive, uniform toning, as it enhances both aesthetic and historical value. Conversely, uneven toning, corrosion, or chemical-induced discoloration can reduce a coin's desirability. Understanding the interplay between natural patina and artificial alterations is essential for collectors seeking high-grade specimens. Experienced numismatists often examine coins under magnification to differentiate between naturally occurring toning and signs of cleaning or chemical treatment, which can diminish a coin's value. Authentication is another cornerstone of successful collecting. The numismatic market contains counterfeit coins, altered surfaces, and even reproductions intended to mimic high-grade 1978 cents. To safeguard investments, collectors often rely on professional grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These services not only verify authenticity but also assign standardized grades, offering reassurance to buyers and sellers alike. Coins submitted for certification undergo rigorous evaluation, including microscopic inspection of surfaces, analysis of mint marks, verification of metallic composition, and comparison to reference databases of known varieties. Coins authenticated and graded by reputable services frequently command higher prices in both auctions and private sales, reflecting the market's trust in objective evaluation and expert oversight. The Lincoln Memorial reverse of the 1978 cent deserves special attention for its intricate design and collectible nuances. At first glance, the reverse may appear simple, depicting the iconic memorial with a small figure of Lincoln seated inside. Yet, careful study reveals the meticulous detail in the columns, steps, and inscriptions. Minor variations in strike depth, clarity of inscriptions, or sharpness of the interior Lincoln statue can distinguish one coin from another. Collectors examine these details closely, as sharper strikes and perfectly centered features typically indicate higher quality coins, especially in uncirculated or proof conditions. Subtle differences in the reverse can affect market value significantly, highlighting the depth of analysis that numismatics entails. The pursuit of rare 1978 cents also involves understanding production patterns and mint history. The Denver Mint produced the majority of 1978 cents, while San Francisco focused on proof coins. Philadelphia also produced circulating cents but without a mint mark. Knowing production numbers, variations, and historical context allows collectors to identify potential rarity. For instance, a well-preserved 1978 S-proof cent is naturally more valuable than a common circulated 1978 D cent, due to lower production numbers and the specialized nature of proof strikes. Awareness of minting practices, die use, and historical production anomalies equips collectors to spot coins with exceptional potential value. Long-term investment strategies often focus on a combination of preservation, certification, and diversification. Collectors may maintain a portfolio of coins that includes multiple specimens from the 1978 series, graded examples across various mints, proof coins, and known era varieties. By carefully documenting acquisition details, certification numbers, and storage conditions, collectors can track the historical and market value of their collections over time. This approach not only protects against degradation but also positions the collection for potential appreciation, particularly for coins that achieve high grades or feature unique anomalies. The allure of coins with rumored extreme valuations, such as the legendary $100 million 1978 cent, further motivates meticulous preservation and strategic acquisition, even if such values remain more theoretical than verified. Stories from collectors highlight the emotional and historical connection to the 1978 cent. Enthusiasts frequently recount the thrill of examining coins under magnification, discovering subtle die variations, or witnessing the perfect alignment of strike and luster. Some collectors maintain lifelong projects to acquire every mint-marked variety in top grades, preserving a tangible record of American history. Each coin tells a story, from its initial production in the minting presses to its journey through circulation or storage, eventually landing in the hands of a collector who recognizes its significance. In this sense, the 1978 cent transcends its humble face value, becoming a bridge between history, art, and personal passion. As we continue our journey into the remarkable world of the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, it becomes clear that the story of this coin extends far beyond its simple face value. Over the decades, collectors have recounted countless anecdotes of extraordinary finds, high-grade specimens, and unexpected discoveries. One of the most compelling aspects of collecting 1978 cents is the stories surrounding coins that have been preserved in private collections for decades, often tucked away in envelopes, jars, or coin rolls. Some collectors have shared tales of finding near-perfect uncirculated 1978D or 1978S cents in family heirlooms, which, when examined under magnification, reveal pristine surfaces, vibrant copper color, and perfectly struck details. These discoveries are not only thrilling but serve as reminders that even coins struck in massive quantities can occasionally emerge as exceptional specimens, almost as if fate has preserved them for posterity. In addition to private anecdotes, institutional collections have also highlighted the significance of the 1978 cent. Museums, historical societies, and numismatic libraries sometimes acquire top-grade Lincoln cents as part of larger exhibits on American coinage. These coins, often encapsulated and certified, provide both a historical and educational function, illustrating production techniques, design elements, and the evolution of coinage materials. While such institutional holdings are less about financial speculation, they underscore the enduring cultural and historical relevance of the 1978 cent. Collectors often look to these curated examples as benchmarks for condition, strike quality, and rarity, providing a reference point for evaluating their own coins. Auction trends over the past several decades provide insight into the market dynamics for 1978 cents. While most circulated coins sell for only a small premium above face value, uncirculated and proof coins regularly fetch higher prices. For instance, high-grade uncirculated 1978 cents, certified MS-66 or MS-67, have sold in specialized coin auctions for several $100s, occasionally exceeding $1,000 for truly exceptional specimens. Proof coins, particularly those from the San Francisco Mint with mirror-like surfaces and perfect detail, can command prices several times higher than standard uncirculated circulation coins. Auction houses often note subtle features, such as toning, strike sharpness, and die characteristics, which can influence the final sale price. Collectors pay close attention to these auction results, tracking trends over time to identify which types of coins are most desirable and which anomalies are generating the highest premiums. The myth of a $100 million 1978 cent continues to captivate the imagination of both novice and seasoned collectors. While no verified sale has approached such a value, the legend persists, fueled by discussions in collector forums, numismatic publications, and online videos. The origin of this myth likely stems from theoretical exercises, imagining a 1978 cent that is absolutely flawless in every possible way, combining perfect MS-70 grading, ideal luster, impeccable toning, and perhaps a rare minting anomaly. While such a coin has not been publicly documented, the concept captures the allure of extreme rarity and perfection. It also highlights the psychological component of collecting, where the potential for discovering something truly extraordinary drives passion, dedication, and careful preservation practices. The story of a $100 million cent functions more as a symbol of ultimate numismatic aspiration than as a factual market reality. Collector experiences with high-grade 1978 cents illustrate the challenges and rewards of pursuit. Coins of exceptional quality often require years of careful searching, examination, and sometimes serendipity. Enthusiasts describe examining rolls of coins under magnification, searching for subtle die varieties, unusual toning, or perfectly preserved proof surfaces. The excitement of spotting a near-perfect specimen, knowing that it might rank among the finest examples in existence, fuels the dedication that characterizes serious numismatics. Moreover, the combination of history, artistry, and potential market value makes the discovery of a high-grade 1978 cent both intellectually and emotionally satisfying. Auction houses have increasingly emphasized certified coins, especially those verified by PCGS or NGC. These services authenticate coins, assign standardized grades, and provide encapsulation to protect the coin's condition. High-grade 1978 cents certified by these organizations often achieve significantly higher prices than ungraded coins, as buyers trust the objectivity of professional evaluation. Records show that certified MS-68 to MS-70 1978 proof cents and exceptionally preserved 1978 D cents have occasionally sold for thousands of dollars, far beyond face value. While these prices are nowhere near the mythic $100 million, they still represent remarkable returns for coins that many would otherwise dismiss as common. The contrast between anecdotal. As we continue exploring the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, it becomes valuable to place it within the broader context of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which spanned from 1959 to 2008. Within this series, certain years and mint marks are more desirable than others due to production numbers, strike quality, and historical context. The 1978 cent occupies an interesting position because, while it was minted in large quantities, millions of coins from the Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco mints, the potential for high-grade, uncirculated coins with exceptional strike detail and toning creates opportunities for collectors. Compared to earlier Lincoln Memorial pennies from the 1960s, the 1978 cents are generally easier to acquire in uncirculated condition, yet examples with proof-like surfaces, perfect centering, or subtle die variations remain scarce and highly valued. Understanding these nuances allows collectors to prioritize which specimens may appreciate over time and which are primarily of historical interest. Spotting ultra-rare examples requires a combination of observational skill, experience, and attention to detail. Collectors examine coins for perfect strike alignment, sharpness of Lincoln's profile, clarity of inscriptions, and precision in the columns and steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Subtle doubling in letters or numbers, minor planchet irregularities, or unique toning patterns can dramatically elevate a coin's appeal. Magnification tools, proper lighting, and reference materials are essential for differentiating coins of exceptional quality from standard circulation specimens. A 1978 D-cent with a perfectly centered strike, sharp relief, and uniform reddish-brown or chocolate toning can be considered highly desirable, even if it lacks dramatic die errors. Similarly, proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, particularly PR70 examples, are rare due to their delicate surfaces, which are highly susceptible to fingerprints, scratches, or environmental damage. Recognizing and preserving these features is a critical skill for serious numismatists. Collector psychology plays a surprisingly significant role in the market for 1978 cents. Enthusiasts are drawn to the combination of history, rarity, and the potential for exceptional value. The notion of discovering a coin that is flawless, or that exhibits a rare error, evokes excitement and drives careful study and acquisition. Even the myth of a $100 million 1978 cent influences behavior, encouraging collectors to seek perfection in their specimens, maintain rigorous preservation practices, and participate actively in auctions and private sales. This psychological component underscores that numismatics is as much about human fascination, storytelling, and emotional connection as it is about tangible metal and design. A coin, after all, is a piece of history, and the thrill of possessing an exemplary specimen is often as rewarding as the financial aspect. Remarkable toning and color variations further enhance the allure of the 1978 cent copper pennies are particularly prone to developing patina over time, and the conditions in which a coin is stored significantly influence the resulting color. Some 1978 cents have developed a deep chocolate brown, while others display striking reddish-orange, or even subtle rainbow hues. Collectors prize uniform, naturally occurring toning, as it adds both aesthetic beauty and uniqueness. Coins that have retained their original luster, unblemished surfaces, and attractive patina are often considered the pinnacle of the series. Conversely, artificially induced toning or cleaning can detract from value, making expertise in distinguishing natural from altered surfaces crucial for anyone pursuing high-grade coins. Comparative market. As we continue our deep dive into the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, one of the most fascinating aspects for collectors and enthusiasts is the occurrence of minting errors and anomalies. While most coins from 1978 were struck with remarkable consistency, the sheer volume of production and the intricacy of the minting process inevitably produced coins with unusual characteristics, some of which have become highly sought after in the numismatic world. These errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and even rare instances of improper alloy composition. Each type of error represents a different stage in the minting process, and the study of these anomalies reveals both the technical challenges and the artistry inherent in producing millions of coins that are nearly identical yet sometimes subtly unique. Double die errors are among the most recognized and valuable anomalies. In a double die, the coin appears to have faint, overlapping images of letters, numerals, or even parts of Lincoln's profile due to a misalignment during the die creation process. For 1978 cents, examples of minor doubling on the date or the mint mark have been documented. Though these doublings are subtle and often invisible to the untrained eye, they can add substantial value to a coin when authenticated and graded by a professional service. Collectors who specialize in error coins carefully examine each specimen under magnification, looking for the telltale shadows of doubling, while cross-referencing known varieties to confirm authenticity. The thrill of identifying a doubled die 1978 cent lies in the knowledge that, while millions of coins were produced, only a small fraction bear these distinctive characteristics. Off-center strikes and clipped planchets represent another fascinating category of errors. An off-center strike occurs when the planchet is not perfectly aligned with the dies during stamping, resulting in part of the design being partially or completely missing. The degree of misalignment varies, and coins with more dramatic off-center strikes are generally more valuable due to their rarity. Clipped planchets, on the other hand, result from a miscut blank, leaving a curved or irregular edge. Some 1978 cents with noticeable clipped planchets have appeared in auctions, fetching significant premiums relative to standard uncirculated examples. These errors, while accidental, showcase the unpredictable beauty of coin production and illustrate that imperfection can create desirability in a market where scarcity drives value. Die cracks are a subtler form of anomaly but still capture the attention of collectors. Over time, dies used in coin presses can develop small fractures, which transfer to the coins as raised lines or ridges. On a 1978 cent, these lines may appear on Lincoln's profile, the rim, or continuing our in-depth journey into the 1978 United States 1-cent coin. It is essential to explore the intricate details of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. At first glance, the design may seem simple, a miniature depiction of the iconic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., complete with columns, steps, and a tiny seated figure of Abraham Lincoln. Yet, the artistry is far more intricate than many realize. Every line of the columns, every shadow in the recesses of the building, and the delicate inscription of E pluribus unum and United States of America demonstrates the precision required in the die engraving process. Collectors often examine these details closely, noting that sharper, fully struck coins display greater relief in the columns and clearer definition in Lincoln's tiny figure. Differences in strike quality, depth, and centering between coins, even within the same mint and year, can create subtle but significant variations in collectability and value. Rare mint-marked 1978 cents are of particular interest. While the majority of coins were struck at the Denver Mint, designated with a D mint mark, a smaller number came from the San Francisco Mint as proof coins, marked with an S. Philadelphia produced circulation coins without a mint mark. Among these, the 1978 S-proof cents in perfect PR70 condition are especially sought after, because proof coins were struck with polished planchets and carefully prepared dies to maximize clarity, reflectivity, and detail. Collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity but also for the mirror-like surfaces and sharpness of design that set them apart from ordinary circulation coins. In comparison, high-grade 1978 D cents may appear more common, but certain specimens, particularly those with exceptional strike quality or minor die anomalies, can also command strong collector interest. The distribution of coins by mint mark and the variations in strike quality make careful selection crucial for anyone seeking a high-value 1978 cent collector. Anecdotes add color and personality to the story of the 1978 cent. Enthusiasts frequently describe the excitement of discovering rare specimens in rolls of coins from decades past, finding uncirculated or proof-like coins unexpectedly preserved. In some cases, coins were found in old coin folders, tucked away in drawers or envelopes, with surfaces untouched by circulation or handling. Others recount spotting subtle doubled die characteristics or off-center strikes during detailed examination under magnification. These experiences highlight the thrill of discovery in numismatics, the sense that even a single coin can carry historical significance, aesthetic beauty, and unique characteristics. Such stories also reinforce the idea that thorough observation, patience, and knowledge of minting practices are essential skills for serious collectors. Toning patterns and visual aesthetics significantly influence a coin's appeal and perceived value. Copper pennies like the 1978 cent are particularly prone to developing rich patina over time. Some coins exhibit deep chocolate brown hues, others retain a reddish-orange luster, and rare specimens may even display faint rainbow-colored toning. Uniform, naturally developed toning is highly prized, as it enhances both visual appeal and the sense of historical authenticity. Conversely, uneven toning, chemical discoloration, or signs of artificial enhancement can detract from value. Collectors often use magnification and proper lighting to assess color. As we reach the final chapter of our exploration of the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, it is essential to consider its market value over the decades, its investment potential, and the historical and artistic significance that makes it a perennial favorite among collectors. While the face value of the coin is just 1 cent, its true worth is determined by a combination of condition, rarity, mint mark, strike quality, proof status, and any unusual anomalies such as die errors, off-center strikes, or exceptional toning. Circulated 1978 cents generally remain close to face value, perhaps commanding a few extra cents if they are exceptionally well preserved, but uncirculated coins and proof examples demonstrate a dramatic leap in potential value. Over time, high-grade 1978 cents, particularly MS-65 and above, have steadily appreciated, reflecting both the historical appeal and the limited availability of coins in pristine condition. Investment potential in the 1978 cent is closely tied to rarity and preservation. Coins that have been carefully stored, handled minimally, and certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC consistently outperform ungraded specimens in both private sales and auction settings. For example, an MS-67 1978 cent with flawless surfaces and perfect strike quality can fetch several $100s, while a PR-70 1978 S-proof cent can exceed several $1,000s. While the legendary $100 million valuation remains mythic, the principle behind it underscores a real dynamic. Coins in perfect condition with rare characteristics are highly prized, and their value can grow steadily over decades, particularly among collectors who prioritize quality, historical significance, and verified authenticity. Historical auction records illustrate the market's recognition of exceptional 1978 cents. Certain high-grade proof coins and rare uncirculated examples have appeared in specialized numismatic auctions, often commanding impressive premiums relative to standard circulation coins. Notably, coins with subtle die anomalies, perfect centering, or extraordinary toning attract significant attention and competition among bidders. These auctions serve as both value